Good morning, Indy fans. It's Wednesday, the 26th of May, and it's time for the 5th episode of DaviePHD's Twitter Twits. In this feature, I examine the Twitter feeds from our unionist chums and poke some gentle fun at them. It was Eurovision at the weekend. Now, I generally don't watch it as I think it's absolute shite. But the competition does give the EU yet another opportunity, as if another was really needed, to show the UK just how catastrophically unpopular we really are. And yet again, the UK entry scored nil point in the annual Crap Music Fest. Now, unusually, I'm going to lead with a tweet of a prominent SNP activist, newly elected National Women's Convener, Councillor Rhiannon Spear. Now, Councillor Spear is a bit of a Marmite character. Even some in the independence movement aren't huge fans. I must be one of the few who has no strong opinion on her one way or the other. And while I wasn't there with Councillor Spear, I imagine she was maybe chilling at home, having a wee glass of something and watching this puzzlingly popular show. Or perhaps even just flicking through the Twitter reaction afterwards. And she tweeted this: "It's okay, Europe. We hate the United Kingdom too. Love Scotland." Journalists and Tory politicians have hit back at her, like in this tweet. And you know what? Fair dues. Though I'm neutral on Councillor Spear, this was an ill-advised tweet, and in the cold light of day, I don't think she disagrees. She's apologised, she's deleted it, and temporarily disabled her Twitter account. But this tale shows more than a wee moment of madness. It also shows the absolute hypocrisy faced by the independence movement every day on every issue. Meet Tom Harwood. Now, things are looking up for Tom since he placed 6th in a local council by-election as a Tory candidate in 2018. He was picked up by the right-wing Guido Fawkes website as a correspondent. He's written for newspapers, he's been a talking head on various political panel shows, and has just been headhunted for the shiny new TV network GB News, alongside famously objective Andrew Neil and Neil Oliver. Tom saw the Eurovision result as an insult and chose the typical gammon response of reminding Europe that they owe the UK their very freedom. Without the UK, half these countries would not be free to perform in any song contests. Arguably, the other half wouldn't either. Their thanks, nil point. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty offensive, don't you think? So as if that wasn't enough, he goes on: "I think every year we should forgo the contest and simply hand out points to the countries that were most courageous and successful at standing up against Hitler." Now, as if that wasn't outrageous enough, he continues, "No, I think we should reenact the war." And you know what, folks? These were the tweets sent by Tories and journalists enraged at Tom's warmongering tweets. Confused? I'm not. Yeah, that's right. Deafening silence. Rhiannon Spear expresses her personal opinion and gets pelters. Tory boy wants to reenact World War II, not as sausage. Now that's more hypocritical than an actual hippo-critic. Now, continuing on the subject of deluded unionists, here's George Galloway. After getting absolutely humped in the Scottish elections a couple of weeks ago, you'd think he'd have got the message. But no. After watching the Kenmure Street protest last week, George was enraged, so he took to Twitter. "Immigration and asylum are UK matters. A devolved assembly has openly and unlawfully defied the implementation of a UK government decision. This is an act of rebellion." Of course, that's not what George was tweeting back in 2014. "I will defend the immigrant families from this Tory attack, even if no one will. Who's with me?" So George is standing up to the implementation of a UK government decision only okay if it's your idea? Given that next to no one voted for you, George, I'd perhaps venture that our Scottish government, who a few folk actually did vote for, are way more entitled to stand up to the implementation of a UK government decision than you are. So jog on, George. There's a good chap. Liam Kerr MSP has been in the press recently talking about potholes in the road. Some great photos there with a tape measure, flat cap and wellies. A real man of the people fighting the good fight. But he doesn't need to look too far from home to the solution to this problem. And finally, I love a tweet from DrossMP MSP, who is proud of his farm boy roots and pledged that he would vigorously fight the corner of the farming sector, and even pledged to stand up to Boris Johnson if he felt the UK government was forgetting Scotland. This tweet here is DrossMP MSP registering his disgust at the proposed UK-Australia trade deal and its potentially devastating effect on the farming community. No, this isn't a mistake. I haven't put up a blank square by mistake. The reason this square is blank is because DrossMP MSP has said literally fuck all about it. So with that in mind, folks, don't forget to vote. Log in next week for the next edition of Twitter Twits. DaviePHD.